Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Pleb Underground. I hope that you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. Let's dive into all the news that we missed because, of course, even though, some of us have the weekend off, nothing stops the news, right? Nothing stops all of this fun, and we're just going to dive right into it. So, what do we have to look at today on the Hopium? We've got some interesting comments from Saylor, which I know it's going to sound surprising. I actually agree with him. It's kind of weird. Definitely weird. We've got some Scott Bessent bullishness, right, from the weekend that we're going to take a look at. Got some comments, right? What happened to our 475K? For the people who were attending spaces about a year ago, as the bull run was just kind of warming up, we saw some predictions, right? Big predictions. Well, here we are, November. Where are those predictions, huh? They gone. Anyways, we're gonna take a look at them. Paper Bitcoin Summer. We've got another contender, which we will be examining. And in the winning category, that's right, we've got some Steak and Shake news, Thailand, some Thailand adoption stuff, and a crypto bill update, and of course, what would be a day of Pleb Underground Live without some ECB. Christine Lagarde Cope. But before we dive into it, you know the deal. Give a shout out to the Pleb Underground sponsor. We're going to be back in 30 seconds and we're going to dive into all the fun. Let's frickin' go. Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. All right, let's dive right into it. Here we go. We're gonna kick it off right away with Saylor's comments. Let's do it.
And I don't think it's a bad thing, because the only way you're going to make 10 to 100x your money is if you pick the right thing and everybody disagrees with you. Yeah. If everybody agrees with you and you do the right thing, well, everybody agreed you should buy Amazon in the year 2020 during the lockdowns because it was quite obvious that you needed Amazon during the lockdowns. It's the worst investment of the past 5 years because everybody agreed that it was a good investment, and there's a lesson in that.
Mm-hmm. He's right. There is a lesson in that. And I get what he's saying about Amazon. But the real important point is the information asymmetry, right? Essentially, when everybody knows about it, then there isn't much opportunity, right? And that's kind of the same, at least for me anyways, that's kind of the same thing with Bitcoin, right? The more people know about it, right, the less quote unquote volatility there'll be and the more fully priced it will be. So yeah, I can't disagree with him on that. And if he's just talking about Bitcoin itself, then I'm okay with it. If he's specifically referring to the shares in his company, I obviously have my my reservations about that, right? As I've said in the past, I just I just don't buy companies that don't have enough operating income, pretending that they're going to be able to hold Bitcoin into perpetuity. And I understand it's got 600 something thousand Bitcoin, but you need to have the vehicle that can hold that Bitcoin and that can withstand the economic cycles. Anyways, all right, good stuff though. Good stuff from Saylor. I can appreciate that take. That there was a nugget of wisdom in there, and I appreciate it. Okay, moving on. Let's go take a look at what Scott. Yeah, this comment got everybody super excited on Friday, right? It's like it's so funny, right? Bitcoiners were all like, yeah, we're all against the state, right? We're all trying to separate money from the state. Ooh, Treasury Secretary says wonderful things. That's all it takes, right? We're such clowns. Anyway, 17 years after the white paper, the Bitcoin network is still operational and more resilient than ever. Bitcoin never shuts down. He's right. Bitcoin never shuts down. And so the part of making it partisan, right? Senate Dems could learn something from that, like womp womp. Look, I appreciate the whole us versus them shit, but government is government. Okay. I don't care how you draw that line in the sand. It's all sand. Okay. So yeah, not so fun. But hey, we appreciate that the Treasury Secretary is making this comment, and of course we got excellent entertainment out of this, because immediately you've got a bunch of people that came out of the woodwork to sit there and cry about Bitcoin being made by the CIA. All the while they're using US dollars. Yeah. Yeah. Some people just they don't get the irony. It's funny. Anyways, who cares? I don't care. And in all fairness, right? Like we're using the internet. We're using TCP/IP. All of this stuff is government agencies. All of this is DARPA. So just stop pretending, okay? Stop pretending that like, oh, I'm not going to use Bitcoin because it's a CIA thing. Like, bro, you live in a psyop, okay? Just keep up on that. Okay, sorry. I will stop. I will move on. Here we go. Yeah, after Scott's comments, where are we going here? All right. Yeah, let's take a look at this this video here. There's a video with Preston Fish, American Sodal, Dr. Jeff, and Joe Carlasari. And this is last year, right? They're just talking about the bullishness. And this is what I love, right? This is the kind of stuff that I love, because everybody's so confident about where Bitcoin's going to go, right? Oh, we're all just so confident as to where it's going to go.
They're just totally wrong. We are not headed into a recession. I think GDP is going to surprise to the upside. I think manufacturing is going to start shooting higher and quickly. And once everybody figures that out and we see that economies are actually starting to grow again, especially here in the US, it's just going to be off to the races and it's going to be bananas. So I'm very much looking forward to 2025.
Christmas of 25. If we are, fourth quarter of 25, if we're recording, where you think we're talking about not the 58K gang, we're talking about the 580K gang. Is that what's what do you guys think?
I'm sticking with I'm breaking all the cardinal rules. You don't pick a date and a price, but I'm doing both. I'm saying at Halloween of 2025, we'll be at 475K.
All right. Things that didn't happen for 400, Alex. And you just gotta love, right? You gotta love, 580K, yeah, 580K, right? And then you come up with all these ridiculous sayings like "run the table" and all that shit. Guys, you know something? What's interesting to me? So look, it's always fun to do the predictions. I enjoy the predictions too, right? What's important though is to remember that we are all clowns. Okay, we're all clowns. This is a giant circus, and none of us really know. Okay, that's the takeaway. I know we want to believe that somebody has some specialized knowledge or something like that. All right, you want a Christmas prediction, ACP? Why not? Right? Why not? I'm going to give a Christmas prediction. We're going to be at 682,412 by Christmas Eve. I said it. Yeah, you got it, Platinum. You got it. I know. I just didn't want to say it, but yeah, that's what it's all about. Anyways, I'm not even going to go there because people were not here in previous cycles. So trying to explain to people about how you shouldn't be listening to a lot of these opium dealers is completely pointless. Okay, because a lot of times it's just like, what are you talking about? He says such amazing things. Doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. We're all wrong. We all have no idea what we're talking about. None of us have ever had Bitcoin, the asset, in some previous lifetime. Okay, so it doesn't matter. We're all just guesstimating. Anybody that tells you that they have some specialized knowledge and that they are not guesstimating is lost in their own frickin' sauce. Okay, speaking of lost in the sauce, let's not get lost in the sauce. Let's not do that, right? So this is a good one. Let's zoom out, right? Bitcoin price on Halloween, guys. Look at this. Look at this. And there's people crying right now at 107K, guys. There's people actually sitting there thinking that something is wrong this time. Bull run's over. It's done. Even Peter Thiel thinks Bitcoin isn't going to do much more. And then even Peter Thiel's talking about how Bitcoin is, quote unquote, captured by BlackRock. So that makes me very bullish, because that means that Peter Thiel, with all of the intelligent people around him and his own ability to do research, still hasn't figured out the difference between Bitcoin the token and Bitcoin the network. And we should all be very grateful that these intelligent, very wealthy people still don't get Bitcoin entirely. It's fantastic. But yeah, all right, moving on, guys, because we got more Hopium to kick off the week. So here we go. This one from Bitcoin Magazine, right? Bitcoin is about to enter its highest performing month on average. Weren't we just in October? Wasn't October supposed to be one of Bitcoin's best months? Well, it's okay, guys. We're kicking the can down the road. Down the road it goes. November, this is our month. And in all fairness, I'm obviously hoping for this as well, right? Somebody made a comment that the video wasn't loading on YouTube. I'm going to have to go check that out later. Unfortunately, I can't leave in the middle of the stream to go check it out, but I appreciate it. Gotta love the technical stuff. Okay. How about some Chat GPT Hopium? Right? This is a first for me. Usually I'm using AI to get like TLDRs, high level explanation summaries of stuff. But look, here we go. This is a pretty interesting one. This post from Matthew Hyland. Everyone is asking why BTC is not going up while the Standard & Poor's and gold break higher. We had these same conversations in summer of 2020, but most have forgotten or were just not around back then. Can't believe this. I can't believe ChatGPT is giving us the Hopium. In summer of 2020, many wondered why Bitcoin wasn't moving while the Standard & Poor's 500 and gold hit new all-time highs. Stocks had fully recovered from the COVID crash, and gold surged past 2K amid record stimulus and inflation fears. Meanwhile, Bitcoin lingered around 9 to 12K, still below its 2017 peak. Crypto Twitter and investors questioned if BTC had lost momentum or missed its macro moment. Ironically, the doubt marked the final, and that's the signal in the whole thing. That doubt marked the final accumulation phase before Bitcoin broke out in late 2020, smashing 20K and launching to the next major bull run. Doubt often comes right before the breakout. And there's something, right? There's something interesting to that effect, right? It's always those sayings like it's darkest before the dawn, right? It's the same type of thing of, essentially before you are about to be successful, you end up going through extreme failure, right? So the saying is that beyond failure is everything that we desire. So it's quite possible, right? It's quite possible that we're just in that similar cycle as 2020. And hey, maybe in the next 2 months, sunshine happens, right? We don't know. We don't know. But anyways, that's a good one. That one makes me feel good, right? We got ChatGPT on our side. Why not? Why not? We will take it. And okay. If that wasn't enough, right? You got AI Slop for Hopium. I mean, that's pretty good. Okay. Moving on. Let's go take a look. We've got this solid chart right here. Okay. This one is from Merlin the Trader. All right, guys. That's it. 55-month breakout incoming. Like, look at this. Looks good. It looks like, yep, it definitely looks like we were in this long, drawn-out accumulation phase, right? Maybe the people that are saying the 4-year cycle being dead are right about it, right? Maybe that's actually accurate. But of course, I don't think the cycle of human behavior and yeah, I don't think that's over, right? Like our cycles of exuberance and extreme fear and all of that, like, humans are humans. We're going to do what we do. So YouTube is working. Hey, thank you. Thank you, ABW. I appreciate it. Yeah, good times. Good times. Okay, moving on, guys. Moving on. We've got way more to go. All right, let's take a look at, let's make fun of some paper Bitcoin. I mean, analyze. We're going to analyze this later paper Bitcoin announcement. Here we go. Let's do it. Publicly traded Segg Media, which is also known as lottery.com, to launch $300 million Bitcoin treasury. Yay, we're excited. Awesome. Another company coming to the table. I'm sure this business, though, has like positive operating cash flows and hasn't totally screwed their shareholders since its inception, right? I'm sure this one is different. You could just tell by my sarcasm. It's not. It's not different at all. Has what? Less than 1 year of cash runway. Oh, sounds like Bitcoin's a good one-trick pony for you to get attention on your stock. Shareholders have been substantially diluted in the past year because that's how you keep on the lights for a business that's losing money. It's one of the ways. And you raise debt, of course. Makes less than 1 million in revenue. Okay. But maybe you're saying, you know what, Phil? Maybe their chart is totally different than every single other shit show that you've been presenting. Okay. Maybe it is different, right? Okay, so here's the monthly chart, right? Here it is. This is the monthly, and once again, you can see, all right, the stock started in like 2018, was completely flat until it just completely dumped. And you'll notice over here, it did 2 reverse stock splits, right? 1 for 20. So if you had 20 shares, now you have 1. Okay. And you'll notice that number didn't go up, right? It's not like they gave you less shares and all of a sudden they started to create shareholder value. That's not what happened at all. The complete opposite happened. Okay. And it kept eroding because their business wasn't actually making any money, which is kind of hilarious. And you could see that evidenced by, you see all these little E's down here? This is their earnings. Okay. This is every single one of their earnings. These guys are bleeding. Okay. It's just bleeding money. I don't know if I've ever heard of a gambling platform that actually loses money, but hey, this is Bitcoin, right? And then guess what, guys? Then in August of 2025, most recently, they then did another reverse split, right? So let's say you had 20 shares and now you were down to 1, right? Well, for every 10, they're going to give you 1. So if you only had 1 share, they just cash you out at this point because you don't have enough shares to handle the reverse split. Yeah. The giant piece of crap. Look, I'm not saying these businesses can't turn themselves around. I'm not saying that without competent, if they had competent management, that all of a sudden they couldn't start to raise revenues, create operating cash flows, all that good stuff. I'm not saying any of that, right? I'm not just saying that, because this thing is dead, now it's dead forever. No, but what I am saying is that the pattern is really obvious because it's the same thing every time. These dead companies are telling you that they're going to buy Bitcoin. They can't even afford to keep the lights on. Can't even afford to keep the lights on. And you think they're going to buy $300 million worth of Bitcoin? Things that aren't happening, Alex. Things that aren't happening. Okay. Anyways, that's all we got for the paper Bitcoin summer. Oh, wait. Got some comments. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like it's less than 1 year of cash like that because they're going to raise it. They're going to raise cash by telling everyone that they're going to buy Bitcoin. Yeah. Well, let's see, Rourke. This time the marketing narrative is different. But just feel like you know what, man? Yeah, we're taking crazy pills. We're genuinely taking crazy pills. And it's funny because if you point this stuff out, like I'm just a hater, right? To the average person that comes into the space and pays attention, like, he's a hater. He doesn't want Bitcoin to succeed. No, I just want to make sure I don't get wrecked believing absolute nonsense. That's all. Okay, sorry. Let's keep going. We've got more fun stuff. Let's dive into the adoption, guys. Yeah, that's right. We've got some solid adoption stories. But there's always the objective truth side to it, which can't help but explain. So, Watcher.guru, Steak and Shake announces the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, before we get super excited about this, right? All payments received in Bitcoin will be placed in our SBR. We all saw that that announcement was from Friday. But I think that TXMC Trades, one of the accounts that I truly enjoy following on this platform. There's lots of shill accounts. There's very few accounts that are being realistic and attempting to be accurate, and for that I appreciate. So here's what he had to say about this announcement. I don't have hard figures, but I suspect this announcement indicates the amount of Bitcoin business they receive is very small. Nothing wrong with that, okay? as they are pivoting a cash flow stream into hodling a non-productive asset while still needing to buy supplies and pay wages. I think that you know what, I do think that is a realistic take as to what's happening, right? Maybe they thought that they were going to get a lot more. They do absolutely, whoever it is that's working at Steak and Shake, that's making these decisions, clearly recognizes the value in Bitcoin, the value in accepting Bitcoin. But quite possibly the customer base, right, just isn't there yet. And that's totally fine. Right? This is all a part of the monetization process. To the people that believe that all of a sudden, you just wake up one morning, the switch turns and boom, everything's Bitcoin and everybody's using Bitcoin and that's it. Like, that's not how this shit happens. Okay. You got to go take a look at previous technologies and how they were adopted by society. This was not like the hockey stick moment. Like, we're not there yet. We're not at the hockey stick moment yet. But the whole point is that I think that that's a solid move, right? I don't have an issue with this, that they're doing that. And if nothing else, we're getting to see in real time how these businesses are going to integrate Bitcoin into their business models. And Steak and Shake, right? For better or for worse, they're pretty much the first one. They really are. So I mean, I know we've seen some smaller ones come along the way in previous years, but nothing like this, right? Like at one point there was like some Chrome extension so that you can get your Amazon. I think it was called Lulu or something like that. Anyways, there was some Chrome extension where they figured out this jury-rigged way of accepting Bitcoin for Amazon products, but nobody really used that. There was of course Microsoft, right, accepting Bitcoin like what, 8 years ago or something like that for Xbox and Xbox games. That didn't last very long. So it's like, to me, this is just part and parcel, right? This is just part of the adventure. We just got to enjoy it, right? Just got to enjoy the adventure. Okay. Speaking of the adventure, let's head over to Thailand and let's see what is going on. Let's see what is going on over in Thailand. Let's see. I don't think this is it. No. Oh, okay. All right, so we're just going to watch this quick video over here of these are merchants using Bitcoin. Beautiful to see. Let's watch it.
Oh my god. This is the
Wallet of Satoshi, huh? Wallet of Satoshi. Found in the wild. Very, very nice. Hey, look, I'll take it. I will take it. Why not? Why not? Okay. So, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent met with Singapore PM to discuss increasing adoption and use of digital assets, among other things. I always hate when it's always it's the Bitcoin logo, right? It's always about the Bitcoin logo. Bessent discussed key shared priorities with Prime Minister of Singapore, including the adoption and use of digital assets and US dollar stablecoins. Just listen to the signal here. Secretary Bessent also noted positively the long history of Singapore's two sovereign funds investing in the United States. It's about the US. And what is actually backing the US? What is actually... It's that whole ability to create those stable coins, right? And all those stable coin issuers, they're going to buy treasuries. Yeah. The secretary recognized Singapore's efforts in increasing adoption and use of digital assets and US dollar stable coins. It's not about Bitcoin. It's always about stable coins. Sorry, guys. I am sorry about that, but that's unfortunately, right? This is the way it works. They're gonna, the government's gonna use whatever means necessary, right, to lead everybody off the cliff. Like they don't care. It doesn't matter. It's like, oh yeah, they like Bitcoin. Is that going to get them to use our thing? Yeah. Okay. Well, then let's just tell them Bitcoin. and that's what we end up with. Okay. Don't worry, guys. We still got more to go here. Last but not least, guys, at least for this, we still have some funniness to watch. U.S. senators are racing to finalize the crypto bill before Thanksgiving. Coinbase CEO confirms there's a real chance the law passes before 2025 ends. We know that Brian Armstrong is super excited for the crypto bill. We know that everybody that is waiting to unleash as many shitcoins as possible into the wild and maximize their profits off of trading, we know that they're super excited for the crypto bill. Look, do I see the stars aligning and that actually happening? Well, I'd like to believe that it will, because then that tells me that that's one of the reasons why we get our next leg up, right? That tells me that this is where we get some of the attention for our next leg up in this move. But yeah, obviously make no mistake. It's got nothing to do with Bitcoin, right? This is all just crypto shenanigans and stable coins. That's all it is. Yeah, waiting for USD stable coins are Bitcoin. Oh yeah, absolutely, man. This is Rourke. Just a matter of time before the USG. It absolutely is, and this is what I've been. To your point, this is what I've been saying, right? This is how governments are going to borrow from the credibility bank of Bitcoin's qualities, right? Hey, we can issue these stable coins. You can trust us. Look at Bitcoin. Everything is going to be just like that. That should be the next government, like the next government meme, right? Whatever it is, should just be some dude in a suit pointing to the Bitcoin logo behind him. That's it. Don't trust me? Look at this. That's where we're headed. That is absolutely where we're headed. Anyways, all right, let's watch some ECB cope, right? Yeah, let's watch some ECB cope. Let's do this. Here we go. Christine Lagarde, right? Last year, the year before, she had everybody doing the dollar bill doodles, right? Maybe we're going to choose your little doodle of the year of the next euro. Well, they've moved on from the doodles. Here we go. Now we're finding out how good the CBDCs are going to be for us. Well, not me, because I'm not on that side of the pond.
I have good news for you on the digital euro front.
That's debatable.
Today, the Governing Council has decided to move ahead on the next and final phase of the preparatory work for the digital euro. Has decided to move ahead on the next and final phase of the preparatory work for the digital euro. The other good news is that on October 23rd, the European Council has asked us and all those involved to accelerate the process.
So, I know I don't mean to pause, but I do mean to pause. Do any of these people realize what it takes to make a shitcoin? They're making it. It's kind of funny, right? Because they're LARPing this whole big long process, and in the meantime, you got like 12-year-old kids that are minting shitcoins on Sol. And back in the day, you had people. It cost like $25 to make a shitcoin on ETH, and I remember at some point it was almost nearly free. So what the hell are these people pretending to be doing exactly? Not that I want them to speed it up, but I'm just saying if you're going to LARP, at least do it accurately,
so that we can roll out the digital euro as early as possible. This is important because as much as banknotes will continue to circulate, we want cash to be in the form of digital euro as well. So
that's not cash.
That you can circulate banknotes and click cash with the digital euro. More work is going to be done in the next few months. And if we receive the approval by the European Parliament in the course of 26, we'll be able to pilot the digital euro as of 27. And if the pilot is conclusive and positive, it will be a formal rollout in the whole of Europe in 2029. This is a big project because the euro is our currency, your currency. It brings us together. It's a symbol of trust in our common destiny. So off we go with the digital euro in that next and final phase of the preparation.
I don't know about that common destiny language. I'm not so sure about that. That's some of that we're all in this together crap, right? Like during during COVID, right? And all these people trying to convince you you're all in this together, but in the meantime, you're all on your fucking own when you go to the grocery store. It's like we're all in this together. Oh, these people are crazy. Anyways, yeah, good luck to Europe with their dystopian LARP. I don't think it ends well. I think most of us know it doesn't end well, but we are going to sit here and we are going to continue to accumulate Bitcoin, and we are going to continue to store it ourselves, be self-sovereign with our Bitcoin, use cold storage. And we're going to continue to enjoy watching this absolute freaking clown show take place in real time. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. You know the deal. I am going to catch you all tomorrow, same time. Let's freaking go. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Take it easy.